What up? What up? Deprogram to reprogram 101. You already know what it is. It's your boy, the wise guy, CL Smooth, Chris as y'all. All know me on Facebook. But I come with yet another edition, Deprogram to Reprogram. And basically, I want to break down the fact that there's way too much divisiveness right now outside of the system of operations. That's like socially, there's way too much divisiveness for there to be any meaningful unity within the two-party system. And what I mean by that is we need to carefully confront our social dysfunction as a collective body of people before we just continue to fraud around and fraud along as if voting in such a divisive state is meaningful to the, progress of all people. And this is something that's hard to do because basically what we're caught up in is a state in our society where, divisiveness is the norm. Division is the norm, okay? And when division is the norm, as such as we see in the United States of America, politically, in a country where politically, in order to get results, you have to be united. In order to get results in the system of operations as it is designed, you need to be organized, okay? You need to be organized with a common purpose, okay? Not only do you need to be organized with a common purpose, you need to be organized with resources connected to the common purpose. You know what I'm saying? And not only do you need to be organized with a common purpose and resources, you have to be organized mentally. Okay, this is the number one thing that people forget in this system, in this society that we live in. The mind, okay, guides everything. The way we think guides the way we act. And as such, politically, we are thinking with a whole bunch of stank. That's just what it is. Like, it doesn't matter what side you're on. People want to make it about a certain side is wrong and a certain side is right, and I'm on the right side, they're on the wrong side, and everybody's on. All that side shit is fake. Because when it comes to the system of operations, you're all looked at damn near the same. Yes, I'm looked at a little bit differently when it comes to the certain individuals within the system of operations and how they can say that, no, I ain't going to give this shit to the black man because I'm going to get it to my friend, the white man first. And that's something that we have to deal with socially. You can't just say that, oh, we're going to fire all these Trump supporters, or we're going to remove all these Trump supporters, and then we're going to get the results that we need by just removing these people from... No. It doesn't work that way. Because this is something that is programmed and wired into the minds of millions of people. Okay? It's not the faces and the figures that you want to be mad at. Everybody wants to point the finger at, oh, this guy, that guy, it's the guy, it's a girl, it's some figure or person, and it's the money. It's always been the money, okay? We must understand that. The United States system of operations operates based on money. And the production that they can get from you, which is the value that they've put on you, the value, you're worth, you've been told that you're worth this because of a position that you've obtained, or you've been told that you're worth this because it's something that you may have inherited, and such and so on and so forth. And they've set the value of everything in your life and my life because we've allowed them to, because we've played the game up until this point. And the thing that we must do is be unwilling to play the game anymore. We have to be unwilling. We have to remove ourselves from the game. But see, this is the problem. We're so caught up in the political infrastructure or thought of things, so where it's like, oh, it's the damn Democrats, or it's the damn Republicans, oh, it's the black people, oh, it's the white people, oh, it's the rich, oh, it's the poor, and everybody's caught up in blaming and, going crazy about some specific group of people. But the thing is, we are not organizing properly. We're not organizing properly because we don't know how to properly organize. We don't know how to properly organize because they programmed us how not to think properly. So now everybody's going on living their own great married own life, trying to live the American dream. And this is real. This is part of the dysfunction. Everybody's trying to live the American dream in the way that they aspire to get these things. They aspire to get all this stuff. They aspire to be, in essence, greedy. You're not going to admit that you're being greedy and selfish, but that's exactly what we're doing because that's what the American culture is. It was birthed on greed and selfishness and the desire to take and have more in excess of shit that we don't need. This was the birthing of this country from the forefathers. This is how they took in this country and many other countries around the world, because this was within the loins of their spirit. You understand what I'm saying? This is in the loins of the spirit of the forefathers of this country. So now you're wondering, you're sitting here trying to blame these figures, and it's the white people, it's the black people. Oh, no, this shit is in the loins of all people. It doesn't matter if you're black, or it doesn't matter if you're white. It is in the loins of all people. Know this first and foremost, because I guess I want to say spirits, spirits are not caring what your color of person is. They don't care what your color of person is. They're out to get anybody and everybody that they can. This is the spirits of, I don't want to say evil, but the spirit of deceit, deception. It doesn't matter who you are. It wants to take your mind, it's going to take those minds, and it's going to put you against each other in a state of division where we can't progress as a people in the ways that we can progress as a people. But what we have to do is... Hold on one second. What's up?
Andrew wanted to see something on Xbox.
What do you want to see on Xbox?
So on my Xbox we have Minecraft.
Okay.
And you guys have Minecraft, and you guys have Xbox Live. I don't. Okay. And that's mini games.
So you want to play Xbox Live?
Yeah.
Okay, the cord's upstairs. Just look for it, and then you can play.
In the book bag?
No, it's upstairs on the floor by the Xbox. Okay. All right. I'll be up once I'm... No, seriously. Once I'm done, y'all done. You hear me?
No.
All right. All right, gotta deal with these kids. Just gotta get away from kids, because I'm accustomed to be loud and screaming. They're gonna be mad. But anyways, what I was saying is this. The spirit of the country right now is the spirit that this country was birthed on. Division. Greed. What else oh my, it's so sick, but it's so many different things that we're caught up in. And we're trying to fight all these different battles. We're trying to fight all these different evils and all these different deceitful spirits, I should say, in terms of being aligned with the system of operations. You got to understand something. The system of operations is the beginning of deceit, because the system of operations is the one that has taught us all of the deception that we know right now. And it has taught our mothers, it has taught our fathers, it has taught everybody has been taught by the same system of operations in the United States of America. But not only in the United States of America, this spreads worldwide. So this is not a thing that is selective of certain specific groups of people. No, it will take any and all people. It doesn't matter the individual. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you're white. It's going to make you think that you have to be against that black person and they have to be against you. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It's going to put you against each other, because you're going to be poor and you're going to see that you need the shit that they got, and they're going to be rich and see that they need to keep this shit away from you. Because we are riding with such the falsified spirits in connection with life. But we don't understand this, because socially we've been taught in such a way that is destructive. We've been raised with divisiveness socially. So it's like, outside of the system of operations, inside of my house, as a African American man, I was raised to look at Caucasian people with, or I was raised not to trust motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? Because the motherfuckers was out to get me. Before I even got a chance to be even anything in the system of operations. You know what I mean? I was raised not to trust motherfuckers, because of what was done to the people that was connected to all of us. You know what I mean? This wasn't done to just... See, this is where they're going to get you fucked up at. They make you think you black and they make you think you white. So now when we connect to the inhumane activities of this country in the United States of America, we're looking at this from a state of division. We're looking at it from black and white people. We're not just looking at it as a state of human beings. To understand that the sick and shit, because they want to connect you to specific events like Hitler and Nazi Germany and shit like that. Oh, this is the sickest stuff that ever happened in the world. There's nothing ever happened that's so sick about it. And don't even think your country would do anything so sick like this shit that happened in Nazi Germany, because they wouldn't, because this is the only sick... Hitler was the sickest person ever. One man. Okay, cool. So you telling me that one man killed all them people? No, that's false. One man didn't kill all them people. One man programmed millions of motherfuckers to act and believe a specific type of way. Just as such as one or more, because not one man, but one or more men, because it took a collective group of people. He couldn't do it himself. Just as such as the regime you see in the United States of America. A group of people specifically designed a system to train and raise up people a specific and certain type of way. And that way was to be divided. But not only would they be dividing the people, that lower class or working class or whatever you want to call them, but they would already be socially distant away from those people to where they're not affected from anything that these people are affected from on a daily basis. So all the hate that you have for your brother and sister, they don't see or feel that. All the fake feelings that you have against your peoples and the traumas that you're going through, the things that you're experiencing, the things that you're falling victim to, they don't experience that because they designed it for you to experience these things in this lifetime as a part of the deception. But the thing is, we don't see through this because this is all we've been programmed to know is this deceptive or this deceptive state of society or existence. But the good thing is, the truths are still in our realm of existence. And the truth is that we should be connecting with love, but we're not connecting with love because we haven't done enough to heal our wounds from all the deception of generations and generations. And we're not doing anything now because it's like this. The majority of our activity is spent with the same system of operations that's designed us to be divided from each other. And outside of that system of operations, we're comfortable enough in that state of division because we have the people that we were told to, mesh with culturally. Culturally, of course, we have combined into tribes and things of that nature to where, we are still riding with some of the things that's attached to our experience in this life. So black people have a different culture than white people in the United States of America because they've always been in different positions in the United States of America. So, when you connect and think about food, the United States of America is fucking greedy when it comes about food because they've always been greedy from the forefathers and such and so on. These people wanted to take the best of the best from here, there, and everywhere, and they did it in a way that made a lot of people jealous, So black people in the state of slavery, enslavement, they were envious of the things that they didn't have or the things that they thought they needed. But actually, in reality, they didn't need none of that shit. All they needed to do was rise up out of the shit that they was in and then connect to the lands in the same way that they were being forced to connect to the lands. And everything from there would have been self-sustaining their path and their progress in the state that was connected to nature. But in this systems that are designed deceptively, the black folk or the black mind in the state where they realize that, hey, we are oppressed alike because of our color of skin. It's not nothing that was intertwined into their already built up thinking because they didn't come from the thought of European man. You know what I mean? They came from the thought of somewhere else that had their own way of thinking and doing things. Religiously, spiritually, and culturally, everything was different. But as such as they were assimilated into this American Europeanized building design of a culture, they were assimilated as such in the ways of enviousness, jealousy, greed, more or less. I need to protect mine from you, and I'm gonna need to get, when I get all this, I need to protect it from you because you might come and try to get it from me, and I gotta make sure I got guns and all this shit. And that came from the colonizer mentality. But you see, we're working with that same mentality today because we haven't reevaluated the history of wrongs in that logic. We haven't reevaluated the history of wrongs in that educational or the institutional, programming, if you must. And millions of people won't even attempt to address it because they've been spending too much, or they've been consumed with chasing that American cultural dream, chasing after the aspirations of what's been designed for you. You don't know what to chase because your purpose is connected to something greater, but you don't know what great purpose you're connected to because you've only been chasing everything that's been put in front of your face by the American culture. But the American culture has always been one of decay. The American culture has always been one of, deception. But the thing is, you haven't known that because you haven't known anything greater than what you have seen from that culture. And everything that you think is great in life, or not everything, but the majority of things you think is great in life is connected to material wealth and material growth and aspirations as far as accolades or things as such. And all this stuff is meaningless if we're not working together for the greater good of all people. All this shit is meaningless if all this money, all the money you make is meaningless if you're not putting it together and combined with other people that is going to work for the greater good outside of the systems of operation. If you're making all this fucking money, then you're giving it back to the same bankers that designed for you to fucking hate the people that you hate. It's meaningless to go say, oh, we're going to vote in the united manner. Because now you're only lying to yourself because you're not voting in the united manner at all. You're voting in a rage of hostility. And what that is deception. And when you're working with a deceptive mind, you're not even thinking with clarity to make the proper decisions. And when you're not thinking with clarity to make the proper decisions, you're putting the next generations in the pathway of destruction. And that's what we're doing right now. We're putting the next generations in the pathway of destruction, and we're sending them going full speed. But we don't even care to address it. You know, I'm not saying we as individuals or whatever, but we as a collective body of people. Because individually we can do many things, but as far as the system of operations go, there's too many of this majority that's working together every day in the system of operations. So now, those that are working outside of this are going to have to work double time. Damn near to keep up. They're going to have to work overtime. You know how you go to work for the system of operations, you work overtime because you're trying to collect that check, and then sometimes in certain states, when you do work overtime, they try to hit you with the extra tax on your taxes and take the money out of the overtime they ain't supposed to really be taking, but they're going to do it anyway because, you know, you can't really do shit about it. So they're taking the extra money when you put it in the overtime, and this is all going back to the big bankers. You know, everybody's paying the same big bankers. If you're white, you're black, you're Chinese, you know, the Mexicans that all them Trump supporters hate. Oh, the Mexicans, no, they paying taxes. The same people that the Trump supporters paying taxes to, so it's all going to the big bank. So the people in the big bank is laughing at the Trump supporters. They're laughing at everybody. Because ain't nobody spending their money together to rise up out of the funk. Ain't nobody putting in work together as a collective body of people to rise up out of the funk. So when it comes down to it, everything that's going to happen, we deserve that shit. Everything that's going to happen, we deserve that shit. Nobody wants to admit that. But that's the fucking truth. Everything that happens from here on out, all the bad shit that you know, this is happening, why is this, why is the corona, why is all this stuff happening? Everything that happens, we deserve it. Death, destruction. It doesn't matter what, we deserve it. Because when it came time to answer the call, we hung the phone. We didn't listen to the phone. You understand what I'm saying? When it came time to take heed to the messages that was being sent to us all around, because the messages is being sent. You just not paying attention to the right source. So now, since we said that we're not going to take the nourishment of nature, we're not going to take the nourishment of God, you know, our creator created everything that we needed. All we had to do was tap in and get to work in making that creation come to life in a different type of way. Maybe magic, whatever you want. Magic, you know, all different types of shit they used to call it back in the days. But we are working with a choice. Are we going to submit ourselves, our lives, our time, our energy to the same system of operations that we say we hate? That we say we can't say, why is this happening? Oh, why do they keep killing black men? Oh, why black men keep being murdered by police? And why is these why the children keep getting missing? Why people, why women, this and that, all crying, all the fake whining. That shit is fake whining. Because you should expect that stuff to happen. You know that stuff is going to keep happening. You ain't doing nothing for real about that shit to stop it from happening. Because if you wanted to stop it from happening, you would be working with anybody and everybody. You would be going across all spectrums in this fake-ass system of operations. You wouldn't be falling behind no labels to united. You wouldn't be united around no label. You'd be united around your own individual body and experience in the face of all the deception out there. And you would be telling people the damn truth. You wouldn't be sitting here lying and faking and reading from you wouldn't be reading from no damn script. But that's what you got out here. People, millions of people reading from a damn script. Because they're afraid to think on their own. They're afraid to think for themselves because they're afraid that they'll have to reevaluate all the fucked up shit that they're doing. And that's the damn truth. Because I had to do this shit myself. And I'm still doing it in my day. I'm still doing it to this day. Reevaluating all the fucked up shit that I'm aligning with. And it makes me sick because there's some point to where I gotta realize that, hey, we all have to admit to the truth. The same way we want to say, I want the system of operations to be nice and whole and wholesome, and I want the system of operations to work with integrity and transparency and truthfulness and all these things and all that. But we not being real with each other. How you want the systems of operations to act in a way that's real when you over there faking and fronting for your jobs and all that shit? For people, your jobs, your closest friends and family, faking and frauding. So everything that happens from here on out, when we align with these systems of operations, we deserve everything to happen. That happens. We deserve it. That's me too. If I'm out there doing stupid shit and aligning with stupid shit, whatever comes about my way, I deserve that shit. If I'm out there running around acting foolish and goofy, taking advantage of people and finessing people and stealing and you know what the fuck I'm talking about. If I'm aligning with folks that's doing this shit and I'm ignoring it and I'm telling them, like, yeah, just go ahead, I'm a fund your operation, as a matter of fact. Here, take this money and I don't know you stealing. Even I know you willing and dealing, taking from this and taking from them, I'm going to just fund your operations too. I deserve everything that comes my way. I deserve the terror that comes in my front door. Everybody crying about this, crying about that. Trying to protect the interests of the sick. It's sick what's happening in 2020. It's sick what's happening in 2020. But the thing is, we're going to have to deal with it. As individuals, as a collective body of people, just as a country or nation, as a world, we're going to have to deal with everything that we're aligning with. So you can't say that you didn't know. People can't say that they didn't know because they do know. Everybody talking about waking up and this and that. You don't have to wake up because you know exactly what the fuck you're supporting. You know what you're supporting. It ain't no way in hell you can say, oh, I didn't know. No, you know exactly that you're supporting division. You know that shit. You know you're supporting hate. You know you're supporting a system of operations that don't give a fuck about nobody. You know that shit. But the people going to act like, well, I got money. Chris, I got money. You can get money too. It's a money. You can get more of it. All you have to do is work hard. That's going to take this shit that's rightfully yours and you just be happy like me. We're dying. Our children are dying right now. They ain't dying physically. Spiritually, they are dying right now. We are sucking the spirit of life dry from the children. This is what scares me the most. They won't be able to combat the forces of evil in the system of operations in 5 to 10 years at all. They will not be able to. Especially if they're in the state of division that we are currently in right now. They won't be able to figure out how to properly combat what's coming ahead. And then the older people now, you ain't getting none. I guess you're not getting saying you get older, but that grandfather clock don't stop ticking. So when you get to that certain age, those are the people that are going to take care of you right now. You're allowing their spirit to be sucked dry from the system of operations. What that means is they're not going to give a fuck about us for real. Because they're going to be too consumed within the system of operations and all that it provides to give a fuck about us. Just as such, we're too consumed in this rage of division, in a state of dysfunction, that we don't give a fuck about each other now. And I'm trying to hear all the people be faking in front like, oh, I love all people, I love all people, I love all. No, you fucking don't love all people. Because if you loved all people, you wouldn't tell them, you wouldn't be happily letting them go and just align with the fucked up system of operations without making sure you say something about it every damn day. Or every time, all the time. Even though our folks have to stay continuing in the system of operations, we need them to have their minds right outside of it. Because that's where the real work is put in. Outside of the system of operations. And many people don't understand and believe that. Which is scary because we're going to be fucked, man. And it's like, whatever. I mean, whatever. I'll be good. Whatever. But it's like, I don't want to see my children like, I ain't say my children, but all the children of the world like this. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter you white or black, but people like, oh, I want my black kids to be this and that. But it's not about black kids. It's not about white kids. You want all the kids to be right. So we need the young white kids to understand that the system of operations is disproportionately looking and viewing and treating black folks in the way that we can have them ready to make sure that they ain't partaking in that fucked up shit too. But their parents ain't laying them down with truth to say that, yo, we got to make sure that we spread the wealth. They're laying down, no, we got to protect this shit. We got to be greedy and protect this shit. Inherit more. Get more. That's what's going on right now. Get more. How much more do you need? How much more do you need? Especially when we living in the country like we living in now. How much more do you need? I don't know. Maybe it's your purpose to get all this stuff. Maybe it's your purpose to get all this material goods and material wealth and just to hoard up all this shit that you really don't need. Because the thing you need most, we've neglected it. We were programmed to neglect it. I mean, I'm not going to say it's any fault of our own, but, we definitely help out. But we must deprogram from these systems of operations mentally. That doesn't mean you're going to work and you not doing what you're supposed to do. No, it means you're going to work and you're not dealing with the bullshit that you've been dealing with for the majority of the time that you've been dealing with it at work. When it comes to that politics, and you're going to talk about the politics, you're not going to be afraid to talk about it because you're ready to tell motherfuckers that need to stop feeding into that fake ass division and get united for a real purpose. You're not going to be going to work and being hush-hush and scared to talk because everybody seems like they support this guy and they support that person and you can't stand them. No, you're going to speak up for what you fucking believe in with the authority that you have as an individual. Not submitting to the falsified narratives of these people with the programmed minds. You're going to shine that light. Light is shown in many different aspects of life. You know what I mean? We are all teachers in some way. As well, we're all students. Don't be afraid to teach. But at the same time, don't be afraid to learn. Even as an adult. We have to always be learning. Till the day we die, we need to be learning. But the thing is, we have to be learning with substance. A lot of the stuff that's in these educational institutions is not substance. The substance is part of the artificial culture of the dream. The dream is believing in the patriotism, believing in the need for you to do your civic duty to a designed operation that doesn't give a fuck about you. But it takes time. It takes time for people to properly understand that, but we have to keep teaching. Keep teaching. It's like religion. The preachers keep preaching. Well, you got to keep teaching. And right now I'm preaching about the need for y'all to rise up out of the funk that's the system of operations and the politicized way that we believe. Take your mind away from the labels. Take your mind away from the characteristics and the makeup of somebody else that created it for you. Understand that this is an individual experience of yours. You determine what it is. You determine what you choose what you align with. You chosen. A lot of us have chosen to align with the deceiver. In the face of God trying to tell us to wake up and reflect on what we've been doing and who we've been aligning with, a lot of us are still aligning with the deceiver. And God's speaking to people. People say, "Oh, God is this and God." No, God is the real natural shit that's going on about you. That division that you believe in, that's not God. You talking about God? No. God says discern. Discern means that you can see that, hey, these people are programmed and they need me to maybe act in a different tune than what I've been acting in the program to act in the hostility and the rage that I'm acting, because God ain't going to tell you to act in the rage of hostility unless you really, really need to. God's going to tell you to seek clarity of the mind so that way you can properly discern with wisdom what and who you're dealing with. And you'll know that these people are still your brothers and sisters as well. You won't be saying, "Oh, they're Trump supporters. Oh, they're Trump. They're red. They love Trump. Oh, they love Donald. Oh, Joe Biden. Damn fools to vote for Joe Biden. Oh, this and that." You wouldn't be worried about anything because it's all artificial. thing is, we don't really have enough nutrition to really tap into a God like mine because it's not something that's being provided to us 24/7 like the programmed television and the programmed demands we need and the programmed narratives and the programmed script that tells you to read these scripts. And unfortunately, that's what y'all gotta go out and clean that sword of truth, but clean that sword in love. You know what I mean? You gotta love with purpose. Because if love is not connected to your purpose, then you're going to be acting with the purpose of another man. You're thinking for certain things, realize you shouldn't be disrespecting millions of other people. Like, you know what I mean? Football, basketball, hockey. How much? Montez says, I always tell people they can't use I didn't know as an excuse since there's signs, synchronicities everywhere proving the systems. There's signs and synchronicities. That's true, brother. But the thing is, you have to actually realize that even it starts with the numbers and the alphabets. You know what I'm saying? And signs that begins. Hold on, I gotta go check something. Hold on, y'all. All right, so if I lost volume, I'm gonna just go. I was gonna go anyway, but yeah, I was just basically trying to break it down. It's like it's real out here, and the spirits is evil. And a lot of people try to apply it to in a religious manner or whatever. You don't even have to do anything like that, because it's universal. It's not even about any specific religion. We all are susceptible to the same spirits, whether good or bad. You know what I mean? And when it comes to the system of operations, the majority of spirits that we're dealing with are bad spirits. Because the system of operations is possessed by greed. This is one above all. It's possessed by greed. So ultimately, we become possessed by greed. The majority of us, that is. Not everybody's going to be possessed by greed because some people are built with a stealthy village to where, it's raising them and nourishing them on the core values that are universal to where, you know, we share with the world. You know, these values are shared with the world. There's nothing that overrides any specific race and any other when it comes to the core values of the world. And this is also with the bad spirits of the world. There's no race that's more susceptible or more racist vulnerable. There's no. Everybody's vulnerable. It doesn't matter who you are. So now when we align with this system of operations, it's embedded. Greed is embedded in the system of operations. So we live greedily. We don't see it because this is something that's embedded in the culture. It's part of who we are. We're greedy. Think about it. You have too many clothes. You have too much food. You have too much. We have everything that we need to remove ourselves from the system of operations. What we don't have is the minds to think that we can without being afraid. We are afraid because we've been programmed to be afraid of each other. That's that's where they first start. Yo, be afraid of each other. You know, it starts when you're younger. The bullies and these people and the bullies, boys are told to be afraid of girls and blacks are told to be afraid of whites and, you know, rich people, the snoozers are told to separate from the middles and the middles are all this dumb shit that we put in front of our children because we're not getting their environments right. It's not up to the educational institutions to do that shit. It's up to us to do that shit. We're supposed to clean their environments. We're supposed to make sure that their environments are filled with shit that gives spirit to the life that they're living. Especially when it comes to connecting to their greater purpose in this world. But for the majority, they're not going to connect to their greater purpose because they're going to connect to their systematic purpose. Which is being another number, being another financial pig or whatever the case you want. You're going to make money for them to make more money to put their foot and their knee on your neck. But the thing is, they're not just doing it to black folks, they're doing it to white folks. They're not just doing it to white folks, they're doing it to all different types of folks. But the people that they're not doing it to, guess what? Those people are working together. Those people are putting their money together. Those people are making sure that they're doing what they have to do so their way they're not falling victim to the schemes and the deception of the system of operations. They're creating their own systems of operations. And they're playing a fucking fucked up game as well, you know. But they're creating a path and an avenue for their people to be self-sustainable without aligning with this decaying system of operations. We have to stop living so greedily. We have to stop living so destructive, divisively. It starts inside of our minds. But the thing is, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. And for the majority of us, we've been wasting it with the system of operations for the entirety of our lives. And this is nothing I'm trying to be offended to nobody. Because this is across the spectrum. Whether you're African American, whether you're Caucasian, whether you a newly immigrant that wanted to get a vibe with the American culture and, you know, the dreamers, call them people now dreamers and shit. You know what I mean? Dreaming of living that American life of greed and cultural bullshit that comes with it. Aligning with the same decaying system that's destroying the world. 2020, we allow this system to get richer. 2020, we increase our fear of each other. So what does that, in that equation, what that means is this. As the scumbags get richer and our fear increase, scumbags getting richer plus the fear of the population and creature equals more control from the fucking people that we don't want to be in control. Not Donald Trump and Joe Biden's. No, it's people that's behind the scenes that you're never going to really see. That you've never ever really seen. Even the people that you've heard about they're not even the only ones that's working. You will never really see these people that are doing these things. Because they've designed the system in such a way that they'll put the figures that they need to put in front of your face to connect to the program that they need to connect inside of your head that'll make you hate the people all around you. And then not only will you hate the people, you work with who? Why the fuck I'm gonna work with them? You better vote. Work with them? No, I'm gonna vote instead. Oh no, Chris, I'm not working with them. I'm voting. You working with those Donald Trump supporters? Oh, guess what I'm doing? I'm voting. Oh, you're working with those Joe Biden supporters. Well, guess what? We're voting. We're gonna vote for Trump harder. We're gonna vote for Trump harder. Oh, you're working across the spectrum with those. You're a fucking idiot. Why don't you just vote? You see where I'm getting at? You don't see where I'm getting at. Because that might be you. And I'm not trying to offend them, but that's where they got your mind at. so low that you don't even see how fucking low it is. We gotta get our shits back, y'all. We have to get our minds back. Deprogram from that program today. It's not going to do your children any justice. You want justice? Think differently. Justice starts right here. Justice is in your... Justice, when I realized justice was in my control, I realized that I had to spread the word to other people. I had to spread the truth to other people when I realized that the political party bullshit was fake. But people didn't want to believe me because they were still connected to the program of believing in political parties. As such, people don't want to believe me now because they're still connected to the program of political parties. But I tell you this, if you ain't ready to work with the people on the other side, then what the fuck is you really voting for? Because you're not united. You're not doing shit but making it more destructive for our children. Go work with those people on the other side. Go try to work with those people on the other side. Otherwise, all that fake, all that uniting and politically and Democrats and all that shit is fake. Because you still live in the system of operations with the people on the other fucking side. And that's all there is to it. So if you're not working with the people on the other side, if you're not communicating with the people on the other side, you're doing all this fake uniting for one side. Fake uniting for them. They ain't doing shit for you except getting you to be distracted from the fact that you need to leave them behind and go work with the other side. Vice versa. It's the same thing with the other side. They connected to their own dysfunctional program that's telling them not to work with the other side. But you don't realize that the ones that's telling you to hate the other side is working together. It's crazy. They working together. The political parties that you want to be, oh, I'm on this team and I'm on the red team, I'm on the blue team. Well, guess what? They ain't no fucking team because they working together. Making you look like a fucking fool. Making you run around talking about what you going to do for them. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to donate to them. I'm going to donate. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do all this shit and wasting your fucking energy. Well, you're not really wasting it. You just dedicating it to the wrong purposes. Because it's a choice. It's a choice. You choose where your energy goes. And the universe will respond in kind. So when you put your energy into those system of operations, guess what? They going to use that energy and throw it right back the fuck at you. But you ain't paying attention, is you? Black justice, you know what I'm saying? Health care for all. You know what I'm saying? You want health care for all, right? Oh, you want health care for all, right? Yeah, cool. You ain't getting it. Until they ready to give it to you. Because you submitted your power. You submitted your will, your energy to them. So you gonna wait for them. They ain't waiting for you. No, they ain't waiting for you. They don't gotta wait for you. They got the money. They got the money they need to do whatever they need to do. But they gonna spend it on making sure they keep programming you to hate the other side. That's what they gonna spend it on. Ain't no sides. Ain't never was no sides. But we was just deceived the whole time to believe that we was always brothers and sisters. We was always brothers and sisters. Every fucking day of life. We don't choose to see it that way. Because we've been programmed up to believe we ain't brothers and sisters. We was always brothers and sisters. Every single last fucking one of these people out here is your fucking brother and sister. But you don't see it that way because you was built and programmed to be fucking destructive and dysfunctional. In the face of the truths of the natural realm. We was always beautiful people with beautiful spirits full of life and abundance to give to everybody. But they telling you to protect and guard your energy from the very people that you need to be sharing it with. While you going in the line and sharing and giving your energy to the motherfuckers that's just vacuuming it up and using it against you. And they going to get your children to do the same thing because they doing it now. Vacuuming up their energy and using it against them. They don't unity. They don't know no unity. They know games. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers, you just seen them earlier in this damn cast. Come and bother me about some damn games. No, how about y'all do something connected to where the purpose of life comes into it? Go out there and play, you know what I mean? Get the kids in the garden, y'all. Get the kids in the garden. You dig what I'm saying? This shit is real. But let's see what these stats say. These stats are saying something. These stats are saying something. We banned healthcare for all when we made natural illegal and went to war against it in the name of profit and control. We can do better. See, that's true, Jasmine, but we didn't do that. They did that. You know, certain people did that and convinced us to the need to believe and follow after what they were doing. You know, when the truth was right in front of our faces all the whole time. All we had to do was go outside, go in the forest, go in the woods, go by the waterside. And we will find the truth that we can do all things through Christ which strengthens us, which is the earth and all that is. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, but you need to maintain that you are the Lord of the land, not your landlord that you paying rent to. You are the Lord of the land, but you didn't know that because you was connected to believe in something else. You know what I mean? It's real shit. You got to flip the word. The spell is upon you. You got to flip it out and cast the spell upon this life in the universal realm of what they got going on, and you can create magic too. If you use it the right way. You know what I mean? If you use it the right way. Real shit. Sonya, my girl Sonya, what up? She be going, Sonya, I'm mad at you, Sonya. You voted for Trump last time. I ain't putting you out there, Sonya, but you voted for Trump last time, but now you talking about you voted for Joe. You better not be voting for Joe Biden, Sonya. I'm on your ass. You better. It's like, no, I'm only messing. Don't get mad who you vote for, girl. You do your thing. You know what I mean? But she says, anyone can start a BLM protest. Economy, environment, wages, social, racial justice, anyone. That's goddamn right. You know what I mean? But I don't know if they're going to let you borrow their tag. You know what I mean? You can't be doing BLM on it. They need to make sure they authorize it first. You know what I mean? Depending on where you at. You better authorize that shit. But Dre says we need to let government know. We are restructuring and they are now void. But we can't do that. We ain't going to let government know shit unless we got our money organized together. You organize, who you putting your money? You know what I mean? You got to put money together. Otherwise, the government you're not a factor unless you're talking about money. Unless you're moving with money, you ain't a factor. You can talk about all the social justice and issues and all that shit you want. Unless you fucking ain't money up, you ain't getting no results. Black folks had their chance. But they gave black folks a ton of money when they started to pass the pandemic, unemployment assistance and all this shit. And I'm like, damn, how much money going through the hood? You saying millions is in the hood now? Millions and wait, billions is in the hood now? The hood got billions? Okay, what we spending? What we doing? What we spending? What we you know, they boycotted a couple Tuesdays, blackout Tuesday, this and no. You was supposed to black out the whole fucking summer. They wasn't listening to me. You were supposed to black out the whole. You were supposed to black out the rest of the fucking year if you was really by. They wasn't listening to me though. That was too much. No, Chris, we got to go. We got this money. We got to spend this shit, man. What you mean? Like this, we ain't never. Black folk had more money than they ever had in 2020. I'm telling y'all this shit real talk right now. Black men, they ain't, would they do it? I don't know. I'm not going to judge it, folks. Do what you want, but you had a chance. We had a chance to put some pressure on the political. You know what I mean? This doesn't matter, black or white too, but when it comes to the collective purpose, we all have the money and resources that we need. But you ain't trying to share the shit. You know what I mean? You know there's homeless motherfuckers in the street. You ain't sharing your house with them because you scared to trust them. You know what I mean? You've been rendered with the spirit of the American man. You scared to trust motherfuckers that you need to really be trusting. Because this is where the true spirit of God comes about. You know what I mean? We're riding with our faith. You know, we have faith that we can trust in God to lead us to the right people. You know what I mean? We ain't listening. Well, God is the money now. So, you know, money leads us to the right people in situations. You know, money can lead you to a man. A good man at that. You know what I mean? Today's point. Money can lead me, mother. I want me a good man, mother. Mama's saying, girl, no, you want you a man with money. That's what mama's saying to the baby girl. You know what I mean? You want you a man with money that's going to take care of you. You don't want a good man. You want a man with money. And I'm not saying all men with money ain't good men, but it's good men with money. But there's not a plethora of good men with money. Because money is a power struggle. You know what I mean? You know how when it comes to the wife and the husband getting together and money gets involved, oh my God, it gets real. You know what I mean? But good looking Montez. Sharon, man, I love you for that. Sharon Downey came through. I see you, Sharon. Keep doing what you're doing, Sharon. You know what I'm saying? Montez says silent consent proves they don't love all as one. I mean, yeah, man, no. Silent consent is just fear straight up, and that's what it is. Because you just being silent because you're afraid of what other people think. That's what the system of operation wants you to be. They want you to be worried about what they think, even though they don't give a fuck about you, and they want you to be scared of what everybody else thinks. No, you need to be scared of what nobody thinks. Not even the system of... Fuck the system of operation. Stop putting that mask on. But everybody masking, and I wasn't even talking about the corona, John. You know what I mean? You got the corona mask now. Everybody really, and that's what they really trying to say. You got the mask on, motherfucker. You gonna wear that shit. But Stop putting the mask on for these jobs, man. Y'all going with people. I was pissed the fuck off at work, man. I'm like, I'm tired of putting this mask. I started talking to these motherfuckers about real shit and they hated me. And I was like, damn, this is what I should have been to this shit. And they hated me every day. They know, here come Chris talking that stupid shit. Talking that political shit. Always political. When you running for? I ain't running for no fucking office. What do you mean? I'm running for office now, motherfucker. I'm telling y'all. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell y'all and put the bug in y'all motherfuckers' ears. You know what I mean? And then motherfuckers start paying attention a little bit. You know what I mean? Start researching and conspire. I'm telling you, it works sometimes. You know what I mean? You gotta just talk to motherfuckers. But Adam came through. He says, I recently got a pay raise, but my check got smaller. I mean, hey, you know, sometimes they get like that. You know what I mean? But hey, you got a pay raise nonetheless. I mean, you can shout out to you, man. Good to you. Man. It's good for you. You know what I mean? Montez says money is their god, mammon, materialism. Yeah, money. Money is not even just paper. Money is the materials and everything, you know, because it's capitalism, man. I told you. The system of operations in the United States of America was built and birthed in greed. The people in the United States of America are living with the spirit of greed. You don't know really that you're doing it because it's very subtle. You know, you're getting all the shit that you're getting and you're just getting all the shit that you might not really need, but you don't think that you really don't need it because you really think that you really do need it. So what you're not realizing is this is your spirits connected to deception because you really don't need it, but you think you need it, and then you think that you got to make sure when you get it, you hoard it from you don't share it with nobody else, and you share with only certain people can enjoy this. Only certain people. And Chris, I love my neighbor, but only certain people can enjoy this with me. And it's like, no, this is fucked up because if you love your neighbor, everybody can enjoy everything with you. You're giving and you're willing. Don't matter what the fuck. Oh, you're my blood, motherfucker. You my blood, brother. No, listen, no, we all blood in and blood out to this damn point. If it's red, you shit. But if it's red when you did, you family. You know what I mean? They want to make your DNA and the genetics and the DNA. Oh, no, you're this specific group and you're that specific group. And it means so much that you have to separate yourselves. All of you must separate because you're this designated group and you're designated groups and shit like that. We are supposed to be one big happy fucking family. Something like the Brady Bunch, not like the Brady Bunch. You know what I mean? Because we diverse. You know what I'm saying? We a big ass family, but we diverse. We got work to do. As 2020 comes to an end, I'm telling y'all right now to guard your mind. Guard your mind because more division is coming out, more destruction is coming out, more chaotic spirits are coming out, and they're going to attack anybody and everybody. So as an individual, I tell you to guard your mind. Not just for you, but for the people around you. Because if you're feeding into the same fucked up deception and destructive shit that they're feeding into when it comes to your thought, then you're not going to be able to help them alleviate and heal from their wounds. Or heal from their blind. Or, you know, when they blind, you're not going to be able to open their eyes. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that is very, very real that people don't work on often. Because when you give your energy to the system of operations, you don't have time to work on your mind. Because it's not a system that is fundamentally, you know, built in working on the mind. You know, it's not something that wants you to work on your mind. It's something that wants you to give your mind away for this 8 hours a day. And then, hey, you can have your mind back. But when you get your mind back, your shit is full of all this trauma from dealing with that 8 hours a day that you going on. You fucking with, the kids got to deal with it. The wife got to deal with it. Your friends and your family there. Take your mind back. Understand that you need to create an exit strategy. You need to create an exit strategy. We need to create an exit strategy. You know? And we in this together. That big ass spider, goddamn, big ass spider. We in this together though, y'all. You know what I mean? That's all we gotta remember. We in this shit together. So don't fall for the sides. Don't fall for it. You know what I mean? They want you to fall. Don't fall for the sides. Like, don't fall for the sides at all. You know, that's what I'm trying to tell people. I was telling people that for 3 years now. Don't fall for the divide and conquer because that's what they got us now. They conquered us already. But we can reverse that spell. You know what I mean? But we have to show up with our activity in our mind, and we have to show with our dedication. You know, the same way people are so sick because people is election season, people are dedicated to fighting, and all of a sudden now, and it's like I've been waiting for 4 years for y'all to be dedicated to fighting, but y'all wasn't there. But now it's like with Trump coming about, man, this shit's real. This shit crazy. But it's something that we gotta work on, you know. Yeah, Jasmine got, what is that all about? Anyway, family loyalty, but not the larger world family. Yeah, that's something that was built, I guess, and is like, it's a tribalistic type of thing. You know, in the face of the world and all the issues that were going on in the world, certain groups had to tribe up. You know what I mean? And they had to build families that were designed to think, you know, I guess, more primitive than what we do now. And this was something that I guess had to be done to separate themselves from all the decaying societies of the world, you know? And as such, we have seen through the generations of time that the spirits of those societies that were set in a path of decay overrode all those spirits in those societies that were trying to build in a universal realm of natural law and laws that apply to the land. You know, as such as they call them the natives and the indigenous peoples of the world. You know what I mean? You can just look to see those people that were connected to the land. And they had a close, intimate relationship with the resources of the land. You know, it wasn't just no shit that they were going to knock down a tree and just throw up some buildings and shit like that just for the sake of capitalistic nature shit. Oh, I'm going to knock down the trees and throw all these wood houses so I can build this nice apartment complex that I can make $1,500 a unit. Oh, this is beautiful, and people love that shit. You know, people think this is oh, such an amazing idea. Oh, and I'm going to buy me one. We're decaying, you know. Deprogram to reprogram 101. You know what I mean? Deprogram to reprogram 101. But yeah, that was what I was thinking. That was the last thought I guess I was saying because Jasmine said that. But yeah, so that's what it really was. Jasmine, I think, was more of a protective sort of thing. So it's like I can look at my family as a relatable because when I was growing up in the church, they protected me from society because the world was so fucked up and full of this crazy shit. And I kind of get that now, you know, being as though I'm older. But in a religious setting that I was in, it was detrimental because it wasn't allowing the individual to uplift their mind. You know, it was telling the individual to surrender their mind to the will of another man when it was really the individual that was that man to surrender their will to. You know, but in the realm of the universal laws. You know what I'm saying? But today's time, we surrender our will to the system of operational law. You know what I mean? And this is what we have to subject ourselves to when it comes to the consequences of such. You know, and that's as an individual or a collective. Remember that. You're not just in this as an individual, you're in this collectively. And I don't mean collectively as African American people either. No, you're an individual African American. You know, and you'll experience some of the same things as African Americans experience, but when it comes to the collective system of operation, you just a motherfucking individual. As such as all those other individual African Americans. Now, when it comes to the collective, you can act as a collective body, but that really doesn't mean shit to the entire system of operation because all y'all are a whole bunch of individual numbers. If you get what I'm trying to say. Doesn't matter if you're black, doesn't matter if you're white. You know what I mean? When it comes to the system of operations, you a number. You know what I mean? Now, if you organize those numbers, you could be doing some talking now, you know? But we need to organize our minds. But first we need to deprogram and turn that mainstream media bullshit off. Turn all of that mainstream media shit off. Radio, like, you gotta turn the radio off too because them motherfuckers be just parroting all the narratives. Like, you're like, who pays them, like, to read the script? But get your mind back today, y'all. My test, thanks for sharing. Everybody, thanks for coming through. And you know what it is. It's all love. We all we got. That's what it really is. Like, people ain't going to tell y'all that, but we all we got. And I'm worldwide with this shit. You know what I mean? Because we all we got worldwide. You know what I mean? Worldwide, the people facing some of the same situations that we're dealing with, but it's just in a different type of operations. You know what I mean? And we have to realize that we're connected to all that shit that's going on. And we don't look at it like that because we in America, and when you're in America, they say just think about things from the state of an American mentality, but that's fucking stupid because we're in the worldwide system of operations, and we have to think of things from a worldwide mentality, you know? And when we do that, we get connected to the deeper root of what's going on in our experience. Deprogram, reprogram 101.